Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 10,000 on this 21st day of April. That is still not sunny and warm outside, but it's all good because we're sunny on the inside, right? Everyone, excuse my voice. Apparently I woke up with a frog in my throat this morning, so hopefully that won't be too distracting, but we welcome you. Thanks for watching today. We have Doug Hale on here and Cindy Beckwith, a part of our wonderful broker support team. And we say this every week, and we will continue to say this. We are here for whatever you need. We have your backs. We are your 411. Anything that you have questions about, need to bounce off of folks, that's what we are here for. Any emergencies, call the Dill Doctor, but everything else, call us. And we can point you in the right direction or answer your questions. So thank you so much for watching us today. We are talking today about the very, very tough subject of seller objections. And what we mean by that is when you are at a listing appointment or on the phone with the seller or just having a talk with a friend who may be thinking about selling, and they're throwing objections at you. They're coming up with all the reasons why it's not a good time for them to sell or they do not want to sell, right? And so we wanted to chat about that today. And full transparency, this is a tough subject. It's a tough subject because this market is incredibly challenging. But this is something that a lot of agents are asking us about. And so we wanted to open up the discussion, and hopefully today it'll give you all some ideas. It'll get those wheels turning, but that's what our job is to help you think through some really tough situations. So Doug and Cindy, I want to turn it to you all. What kind of objections are you experiencing or hearing from sellers right now?
Do you want me to go ahead, Doug?
Okay.
Well, and I'm actually going on a listing appointment today, and I think that where it starts is your mindset. I think it's more, you really need to just believe you're going to get that listing. My goal is to get in front of them. Okay. I can talk with them on the phone, and if I'm getting objections on the phone, I'm like, well, hey, do you have any time next week? And this is what I'm doing today. Do you have any time next week? Let's set up an appointment and I can come by and let's just discuss it and talk about it. But in the background, I'm prepared. I know the market around there.
Right.
I want to my goal with meeting with them is to answer their questions, but reassure them that there is other plans that they can do or follow. And I want to be the problem solver for them. So it's more of a listen, but I'm going to leave them with options for them to think about. But the other thing is, my goal is I'm going to get that listing. I'm going to get it.
Amen. Yep. Doug, what about you? What are you hearing?
I think the same thing. I echo a lot of what you just said, Cindy. I said it's for me, it's about getting in front of people. It's in front of having a real conversation about where we're at, what the climate is in our current real estate market right now. I think people need to talk about it. And again, everyone jumps to their own conclusions. They see interest rates climbing. They see not enough houses for sale. And so immediately they're thinking, well, am I going to be in the same boat as everybody else?
Right.
If I list my house right now, people tell me it'll sell in a week. Does that mean I'm going to be homeless?
Right.
What? And so again, having those real conversations about different options. I think we talked about this a little bit in our planning yesterday, didn't we, guys?
Yeah.
A little bit about some of those different options. Maybe they're conversations with a local lender that makes them feel really good about where the market is headed, the interest rates. Boy, do we get a lot of folks at this day and age that talk about the fact that, maybe I'll just sell what I have right now and I'll go rent something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, connecting with the lender too and finding out and again, having the contacts, you being familiar with those loan programs that are available and giving, we want to be have solutions for them.
Exactly.
And
That's
for
why they're
those
meeting
new,
with us.
exactly. And so for those newer agents out there, what we're speaking of when we say know the loan products, get with lenders, have those relationships, because there are loan products that a lot of financial institutions are implementing right now to help sellers who also want to buy. So there's something called a bridge loan. There are also loans being created right now by some credit unions that will allow you to, it's not a bridge loan, but it will allow you to be pre-approved for the next house and be able to hold the current house at the same time. There are programs to help with appraisal gaps and all that kind of stuff. So knowing products is really key. Having relationships with lenders, that's the first thing that I always do. I'm like, call a financial person.
Yeah.
You need to call somebody. So you know what you can do and what you can't do, because that's the perfect place to start. And as Doug pointed out, I just had a listing appointment a few days ago with a past client. And I make a joke of it. Honestly, I make light of the situation because people are stressed. Right? It's super stressful. So, I joke about it and they're like, I want to sell my house. And I'm like, okay, where are you going? And I just joke about it. But that's a valid question. The first thing you need to know is, what is your plan? Because this is not going to be a problem. We're going to be able to sell your house. We need to figure out what your strategy is. And as value creators, right?
Yep.
Right.
They're looking to us and guide them in that conversation. What is your next step? Are you okay with renting a short-term lease? Do you have family in the area that you can stay with? Airbnb it. I've had people do that,
Yep.
right? Where they temporarily Airbnb it until they find the next house. So there are creative solutions, but I think helping talk them through that and helping them to strategize gives them confidence, because really the questions and objections come from fear. Right.
Exactly.
Because what I hear a lot is, well, where am I going to go? That's the biggest one. I just got this email this morning from a seller where we went live last night. This morning, first thing he said, so I was thinking, what happens if we go under contract really quickly? Do we just wait for that and then go start looking at houses? So talking him through that early this morning, strategy, right? Let's wait. What I love to do is let's wait until we get past inspections. I don't want to have them looking for houses and be under contract for the next house and then something falls through, right? So I try and get them to a certain point. So that's a strategy that I use. What are some other objections that sometimes you hear from sellers? So we've heard that I don't know where I'm going next. We have that one. What are some other ones that you all have heard?
Well, I think it also helps if you have, when you go for your appointment, you have a net sheet.
Yes.
You show them, because sometimes it'll be amazing. They'll think of other options when they see that amount, especially if they're going to, and in most cases, make money. They think about other options because they didn't have any idea what that was. So you kind of go through the whole process. And kind of find out where they're at. Like you said, Marissa, you go through, you want to put them at ease and you want to let them know that you'll take care of it. You're there to help assist them with the sale. And if they're going to buy another house, let's have a plan. And no seller is the same. They're not. Every situation is going to be different, but I don't like to be caught off guard. I'm not that kind of realtor. I don't recover good. So I like to be prepared, so I'll take whatever resources I will and help them think outside of the box, actually.
We keep talking about interest rates right now too. This is kind of like where are the interest rates going to go? And what is that going to look like? And even though none of us know the answers, right, as to where that's going to go, it's having those real conversations with them about topics that are going to be first and foremost in their mind.
Correct.
Yeah, and we know they're going up. I mean, we do know that. Hopefully not very much.
We had a group come and talk to our, this was a mortgage company in Muskegon, come talk to our Muskegon group about that. And I think the outcome of that discussion was that after we talked about the forecast as to what that was going to look like. Even some of our agents were feeling like, hey, now I'm equipped. Now I have more
Yeah.
ammunition.
Exactly.
Now I have something more that I can bring in terms of my value to those sellers, to give them that peace to know that, hey, I got this. I got this. And we're going to make sure that each one of those steps are covered. So I
Perfect.
think you can't have enough conversations
Mhm.
with your sellers or future sellers about what our market's going to do.
Right.
Yeah, I had a seller call me, and they, they want to look at houses. And so of course they need to get pre-approved and kind of figure out where their financial situation is. And she said, well, I'll get cash after I sell my house. And I said, well, that's great. That's fantastic. Good for you. But if you're going to put an offer in on a home, that seller does not know you have cash.
There it
They
is.
don't know you. So we either have to have proof of funds
Right.
or a pre-approval.
Right.
And I said, go, check with, I gave her a couple options on lenders. I said, check with them and find out. You obviously have equity in your home.
Right.
See if that's the way to go for you, if that's the best plan. And it was.
Mhm.
So they're able to take the equity out of their home, a home equity loan, to pay cash for another home.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then be able to pay it off when we sell
Right.
it. So there are options out there. Don't, agents shouldn't be afraid. And me, I ask a lot of questions. So don't be afraid to call any of us or any lender and ask them
Lenders, right.
questions.
Yeah. And
Take-
so what I'm hearing is strategy, right? Know the strategy that you're going in terms of helping them talk through where they're going to go next, because that is a fear, right? Have relationships with lenders, know what these loan products and options are, right? So and go in with a net sheet. I heard that, so they can know exactly what they're making on the sale, right? Because they may not know, like, oh, I'm going to walk away with a huge down payment for a new house. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Right? What are you going to say, Doug?
Yeah, no, I was going to say a lot of the same thing, but the conversations that come up with sellers, a lot of the questions are the same questions, aren't they?
Yeah,
Don't you
they
find
are.
Exactly.
Don't you find them all being a lot of the same questions? So
Yeah.
we really need to be equipped, like you just said, Marissa, in making sure that we've addressed those questions. If we haven't, shame on us for not doing that. And again, that's where, again, we use the word cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to be the cheerleader. We've got to tell them, look, here's what we know. We're the professionals in this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, coming from a standpoint of being able to be knowledged as to what that's going to look like. I think there's a piece about that that sellers need at this time.
Yeah, put their minds at ease. You're going to go above and beyond to help them.
Right.
And again, like Marissa said, that's our value.
Yeah. A lot of times they look to us for reassurance, right?
Yes.
But the reassurance and the confidence comes from information.
Yep.
So not just, it's going to be okay. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Not just that. There is place for that too, right? But also facts, right? Use that Star Title app. I swear by it. I swear by the Star Title app. I use it for buyer estimates, and I also use it for seller estimates. And when I have a seller that needs to buy on the other end, sorry, my alarm keeps going off. I do both at the same time, right? So you show them, this is how much you can sell your house for and what you're going to get. Now let's flip that into a buyer estimate for the next house. And so, because sometimes they need help just wrapping their heads around how much is it going to be on the other end and how much am I putting down? So you can show them with that app side-by-side comparison, monthly payment, what you're gonna be able to pay on the next house with what you're putting down and what you're making on the current house from the home sale, because it's probably gonna be a lot, right? So talking them through that, I have found, is extremely helpful, gives them a ton of confidence to move forward. And I think that's what we talked about in our planning meeting yesterday, is whatever the objection is, any objections that you get from a client, right? Listen, and then become the problem solver, right?
Yeah.
Instead of feeling like defensive, because I think sometimes agents hear objections and they get defensive, like, well, just trust me, right? Which, yes, but also give them a reason to trust you. give them information, give them strategy, give them reassurance, right? So I agree with both of you. We have to do our part to make sure that we are coming to those appointments and those conversations prepared, because objections are really just people just speaking what their fear is, right?
Yeah, and we
All
just
right.
want to ease their minds. For sure.
Exactly. Any last words before we hop off? This is a quick one. There might be a part 2 to this, y'all. Just a heads up. There might be a
I
part
think
2.
us as agents, we should just be confident. We've got a lot of tools that 5-star gives us.
Exactly.
And if you need help, call somebody, call us, and just be confident, because it will, the minute you step out, something will happen. So.
Yep, for sure, for sure.
Any last words, Dougie?
Oh, man, you touched on some highlights. Again, just be that problem solver, be that communicator. And again, people are looking to us for advice. They're looking for us for comfort. They really want to have that strategy in place. And that's what our role is in this. And again, the better prepared we are, again, to Cindy's point, get to that kitchen table, folks.
Yeah.
Get to that kitchen table so you can have those be real conversations. Those are really important.
Amen. 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 Thank you all so much. We look forward to seeing your success, continued success this spring. Utilize these strategies. Okay. And just a couple of quick reminders. Social media boot camp is next Thursday. So if you haven't registered for that yet, please do. It's a really cool event that our company is throwing for us. Take advantage of these opportunities. And then if you haven't registered for Ninja, which is in May 16th through the 19th, please consider registering for that. Payment plans are available. Thank you so much, Doug and Cindy, for hopping on today.
Thank you, Marissa.
During this voice. Oh my God.
You did good. You did great.
I'm gonna go drink some tea, and I will see you all soon. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Happy Thursday. Bye,
Happy
everybody.
Thursday. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.